Be warned, this video will contain spoilers. Masters of the Air Episode 5 for me is undoubtedly the best episode the show produced yet. I mean, it revealed the most important part of the show, which include hardship, losses, and sacrifice during the war, especially for the 100th Bomb Group. However, there is one bright spot in the episode. Crosby returns to base alive and well after last week's misadventure. It's sobering when Cros and his crewmates return to find replacements already in their beds. Even stranger is when Crosby's fellow navigator, Bubbles, reveals he wrote a letter to Cros' wife about his death. Fortunately, it went unsent. But unlike Crosby, Cleven has not made a miraculous return. This is an episode characterized by absence. Egan, who typically performs in a duo act with Cleven, begins the episode mourning his comrade alone, while later, after Cros is promoted, he cuts a lonely figure as he eats alone, waiting for the men, his friends, to arrive. Previously, I stated that Callum Turner stole the show, and although he certainly does, it would be negligent not to give Anthony Boyle his due. Cros, our narrator and frequently audience surrogate, is constantly likable because to Boyle's physical expressiveness, his continual imposter syndrome and worry for his pals are openly and genuinely portrayed through his face and posture alone. The majority of the episode, however, is dedicated to the deadly spectacle of aerial battle as the men embark on another death-defying mission. As the squadron is driven to their planes, the score's cadence becomes more like a ticking clock. Something is about to go horribly wrong. The visual effects as the guys take to the skies are continuously fantastic. This is not an episode for people who are afraid of heights, including a dizzying vista of a glass gun turret that stares directly down at the ground before the flak causes the plane to tremble. The early half of the conflict focuses solely on Egan's aircraft, thereby narrowing the scope of what could otherwise be a massive action scenario. It's easy to get lost in the mayhem, but with familiar people to anchor us, the emotional beats hit even harder when flak rips gruesomely through the squadron. Blake Neely's score lurches into the nightmarish as German planes fill the sky and the situation shifts from dreary to utterly hopeless. It's a goosebump-raising moment. The combat that ensues is on a massive scale, with flawless sound design that sharpens every gunshot, droning motor, and pained cry. Egan and his crew are forced to ditch their jet, resulting in a vertigo-inducing uncontrolled fall to dangerous ground. Egan lands in Germany, and you can't help but wonder if he would have been safer in the air. The focus then shifts seamlessly to Lieutenant Rosenthal. In the absence of more familiar faces, he quickly emerges as a key character to guide us forward, and he proves to be an excellent leader, holding his nerve to drop the bombs only at the right time, maneuvering around enemy planes on the attack, and even humming a rousing tune to encourage his crew. For much of this sequence, Rosenthal wears a mask, leaving just Nate Mann's eyes to portray the stress, intensity, and resolve of piloting a plane in such difficult conditions, and he delivers. It's unsettling to see Rosenthal's plane as the sole intact Allied aircraft in the sky. In the calm, debris floats down strangely slowly, creating a bizarre, ghostly sight that emphasizes the complete devastation of this conflict. In just one episode, nearly the entire bloody 100th was lost. It's incredible, and the only thing that might have made the scene any more powerful is if we'd had more time to come to know the men who have been lost, rather than just the handful of significant personalities the series has concentrated on thus far. The episode concludes with Cros, alone in the frame, reading the eulogy Bubbles wrote for him and softly grieving. It's incredibly moving to witness Cros attempting to grieve in secret while others labor around him to retrieve the fallen flyer's personal things. It's also a contrast to Egan, who tamped down his anguish throughout the show despite the fact that repressing his misery was only making him break apart. When Cros exits the frame, the camera lingers on the empty bed and all the empty beds around it, emphasizing the magnitude of the episode's losses. Whatever happens to the bloody 100th, they will never be the same. So there you have it all. What do you think about this episode? Do share your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe for more. I will see you next.